is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with that analysis today on Wednesday. Trying to feed the people some free knowledge like I've been doing for the last couple years. Now we get to talk about the Washington Wizards. John Wall, the #1 overall pick, the franchise guy that helped lead them to numerous playoff appearances and exciting games in the playoffs when he did play, picking apart defenses, taking over games, hitting big shots, and even some failure in there. Bradley Beal is playing at his all-time best, averaging 30, taking over games, hitting game winners, being completely unguardable and unstoppable, and one of the best backcourts in the NBA. The problem with the Wizards is the team surrounding them is not competitive enough to win you a title. They was healthy for the last couple years. I say the last two, and they haven't been the same. It seemed like they was that team that was always up and coming. They was always almost one piece away from being a legitimate title contender, but they could never get that piece. And now we're looking at Wall and Bill as older guys that's established, multiple time All-Stars as a backcourt, and a team that was one game away from making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it never happened. And now they 2 years removed from the playoffs. I tell people this all the time. Just because you made it to the playoffs that year is not a guarantee that you're going to make it to the playoffs again. Nobody's seen John Wall messing up his Achilles and his heel. Nobody's seen them sitting out the whole season until it happened. And now they're in a situation where they get another lottery pick. They got Rui. I like Rui. I like what he brings to the table. He's not the greatest player. He's not the worst player, but he's a guy that put in the work. And that's important. Just because they got rid of Otto Porter, they have to fill that void. Plus, he was a little too expensive, and they really couldn't get over the hump with that type of contract just because they really kind of overpaid him. Even though he excelled at the role that he was with, they couldn't really afford to lose him. And they got themselves in a sticky situation just because the Wizards really don't bring in big-name free agents, and they don't have the assets to really get a big free agent. So they basically been stuck as a great to good team. Now they're a bad team to okay, and they're trying to get back from that to back to a playoff team. It's still some spots in the East that they can get. Obviously, if you look at Brooklyn, they made it to the playoffs this year, but they add Kevin Durant. That means that eighth spot is open. Detroit has floundered. You have Orlando, which is in the guarantee. They had a bad season, but it was good enough to make it to the playoffs. You have some teams like the Hawks that's catching up. The Bulls, when they are healthy and if they change their coach, maybe they can be something. They have the talent, and it leaves up to Wizards. Or is John Wall and Bradley Beal good enough for you to make it to the playoffs? Are they good enough to be a serious threat? And I say no, just because they don't have enough around them. And one thing about getting a lottery pick, you can really change the way your team is playing. You can really add a significant piece that you can build upon with a cheaper contract, and you get to try them out and you get to see if you really like them. And you also get a guy that can potentially have such a high upside that, it can really change the course of how your team and your direction of your team. So when I look at the Wizards, I think they're far away. I know a lot of the people in Washington don't like when I say that, but I have to be honest. This team is far away from being a championship contender. This team is far away from being a team that you want them to be under the circumstances that they at. They have two All-Star caliber players, even though Bradley Beal didn't make it this year, which was crazy, but it is reality. And when I look at this team, I know for sure they don't need a point guard. I know for sure they don't need a shooting guard. And it seems like they're going to keep Rui around for a long time, even though he didn't have the season that they wanted him to have. It was still a productive season at worst, and that's something that you have to look into as a player. This team was 24 and 40, like I said, not even close to making the playoffs. And then you add John Wall, who's going to be a little rusty. He's not going to be the same player for about 30, 40 games. He's going to have to get his groove back. He's going to have to pick apart defenses again. And you really don't get that experience until you just go out there and play. So it's going to be a lot of games that he's going to lose them. He's going to be some games where they're going to steal him. And there's going to be some games with him and Bradley Beal is hitting on all cylinders and they look amazing. But when I look at this team, I know for sure they got Bertans. He's a guy that fits perfectly with Bradley Beal and John Wall if they can keep him around. I look at Rui, a guy that can play the 3, a guy that can play the 4, but he's not the greatest defender, neither is Bertans. You look at Shabazz Napier, is he going to stay around? But he is a good backup point guard, but they can find one in this draft because there's a lot of decent players later in the draft that they can pick up and still have somebody serviceable. And other than that, this roster is pretty bad. They have a lot of players that has to prove themselves, have to be more consistent, has to have more time to develop. They have a lot of role players that you rather not have. You rather have somebody better. They basically got the scraps of the league on this team, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this team isn't that great, and that's why they're 24 and 40. They're going to need a huge upgrade in the future if they're going to contend with Bradley Beal and John Wall, because they're not doing that right now. And when you look at their draft position, it's not the best. They got a chance to go within that top 5 or out, and they can use a nice piece. I think their draft is going to be predicated on how they feel about Bradley Beal. Is he going to be committed past his extension? And you already got John Wall locked down, but you still have to see what he is and what he's going to bring to the table. And I don't think this season is going to be the right time to judge that. We should judge him on next season, the 21-22 season, just because of the rust, just because of getting acclimated back to how he used to play and trying to evolve as a player. And even if he come back better than ever, which is possible, they still going to need some support and cast to really help, balance out the team. And the fact that they don't really have a rim protector, they don't really have great perimeter defenders because John Wall was one, but we don't know how he's going to be coming back. And Bradley Beal hasn't been known as a great defender either. Neither is Rui, neither is Bertans. And then, like I said, you have nobody to fall back on in the paint. It's not a good look for the Wizards right now. And even though you can say if they get in that 5, if James Wiseman drop, he'd be a great pickup. And I would agree with that, but he's raw. He's not really ready to be a great defender. He's not really ready to be a great rebounder from the gate. And even if he is a decent rebounder, it would be more or less because they don't have any other great rebounders around him. So the numbers will be a little inflated. You look at Denny, I don't think Denny would really help this team. You look at Cole Anthony, they don't need a backup in that top 10. You want to get a guy that can fit a positional need or use him as an asset to fill out the rest of your roster, whether if it's trading down or it's just picking a guy that might, fall in the draft and you taking the best talent available. And it also depends. They don't need an Isaac Okoro just because they can pick him to be the successor of Bill if he doesn't want to stay. But if Bill is as committed as he has been, he's going to take up the bulk of those minutes. So I don't think you should go with a bench player in his circumstance. You would look at a Kongu and say he's a perfect fit just because he can protect the rim and he's an energy, high effort player, and that fits perfectly with Bradley Beal and John Wall, a guy that doesn't need the ball, a guy that can get out in transition, can get offensive rebounds, can finish around the rim and set good screens and make good passes and cuts. Yeah, I understand that, but he's 6'9". Can he really be a small ball center in the league? Can he really be better than Bertans, who gives them a lot more offense and he already knows his role as a player that's been in the league for a while. He knows his strengths. He knows how to play off players. Can Okongwu crack that lineup? Can he be a starter? Can he play that center? You look at Killian Hayes. Will he get the clock that's necessary just because they do have Wall and Bill? Do they want to go younger? Or do they want to continue to keep this core intact, which they seem like they do? So I don't know if Killian Hayes is great. Will he be good off the bench? Yeah, it'll be good to have a six-man off the bench. But like I said, do I really want that within the lottery? I do not know if that's the direction they're going to go in, but they might have to. LaMelo Ball, will he be available? I say no. If they don't get in that top five, I doubt they can get LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. Should they go for Obi? Obi is a guy that can play. He can score, but he doesn't fix their defensive problems. And honestly, I'd rather have Rui or even Bertans at this point than the Obi Toppin, so I think they should pass on him. So what I'm saying is the Wizards are in a tough situation where they're trying to win now. They have a backcourt that can go, toe to toe with any backcourt in the league. They have the swagger, they have the confidence, they have the veterans. When it comes to the roster, they also have the playoff experience with their backcourt, and they also have the chemistry with their backcourt. But we're going to have to expect John Wall and Bradley Beal to play at an astronomical level for them to really be a competitive team. And will that be enough? They have been getting beat up and tore up the last 5 years because they have to do so much in the regular season, and they have to do a lot more now to make up the talent gap that they don't have so far on their roster, which means they will have to step up even more in the playoffs if they want to make a run, which is one of the biggest reasons why they haven't. But when I look at this draft, it doesn't really fix too many of their needs outside of James Wiseman. The problem is we don't know if he's going to be bought high. We don't know if people are going to be out on him. And we don't know where the Wizards will pick from anyway, which means even if he does fall, will he fall far enough for the Wizards be able to pick him up? Or will they go higher in the draft and pick up a guy that they possibly would need to fill that positional part? But like people say, you can find a lot of bargain centers around the league. The Wizards can also lose a couple of their players and replace them with other type of veterans. All I'm saying is this draft isn't going to fix a lot of the Washington Wizards problems. One player is not going to change the trajectory of this team, and that's reality. I like John Wall. I love me some Bradley Beal, but it's not really one way that they can fix this roster outside of making a trade. They have the top 10 pick locked most likely. Will they use that as an asset to get a veteran? Will they use that to trade down and get a couple more pieces on that bench? Or will they go all in with John Wall and Bradley Beal now that John Wall should be healthy next season? Or do they wait and see what's available next free agency in the 21-22 season and then go? Because you still got Bill under contract next year, and you got John Wall for a couple more years. So that's going to be the thing that's interesting. But this draft isn't going to fix their problems. This draft isn't going to change their team. This draft isn't going to be the thing that gets them on the right path unless they make a trade that we don't see coming, and unless they get James Wiseman, a guy that can fit perfectly with Bill and Wall. But like I said, he's so raw and so far away from where he needs to be. I don't see him making a significant impact on this team right away. And like I said, he will have to fall in the draft if they don't get in the top five to even have a chance to get him, because they're not guaranteed to have that type of, lottery until we see it. So other than that, this team going to be stuck like they've been stuck for the last couple years. They're going to be okay to good, but not good enough to win a title, which is unfortunate, but they have to stay together. They have to wait for their time, and they have to trust and believe that they can get it done. And I feel like I said, they have the confidence and the swagger for that, but they just don't have the complementary players at this point in time to make a significant run without them playing outlandish, which is possible because we done seen it before. Like I said, there was one game away, basically 1 minute away from being in the conference finals. But even then, it's one thing getting to the conference finals, which they haven't done. It's another thing getting to the NBA finals, which they haven't got done either. So it just shows you that they haven't been able to conquer those demons just yet. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody likes on Facebook. If you like the video, thanks for the love and the support. Also, if you haven't, like and share. If you like video just like this, I break down players. I break down I break down players in the league. I also break down rookies. I also break down NBA legends with real NBA game footage. So if you like discussions and you like NBA content and you like breakdowns, this is the channel for you. So subscribe. I also have a website, analysisplayeron.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check that out. It is free. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I do have merchandise available on my Facebook page and on my Spreadshirt. So check that out. And also, if you love this type of content and you love the other type of content that I make, subscribe and become part of the family. Other than that, let me know what you guys think the Wizards should do. How far they is from a title. Should they break up Bradley Beal and John Wall? Or should they continue to ride it out and grind it out with two guys that love playing with each other, that fit perfectly together, and find a way to put the right pieces around them so that they can be more competitive and have a better chance of making a deeper run? Just because they have these two guys locked up don't mean they have enough to win the title. And that's the only thing I'm saying. They got their superstars, they got their all-stars. They have to put the pieces around them for them to be the best and for them to have the best chance. And they just don't have that right now at this point in time. But that can change in the future as they have a new GM that might want to take the team to another direction. Let me know what you guys think. Other than that, Quinn Wade basketball analysis signing out.